So here's the scenario. You're sitting in your vehicle, getting ready to go in to deliver a keynote speech or to facilitate a workshop. What are some of the ways that you can really build trust with your audience members as well as the event organizers? I want to share with you 11 things that I've learned over the course of the last several years, doing keynote speeches, facilitating workshops, that I think will be really helpful for you to connect in new ways to help build trust with your audience as well as the event organizers. Number one, connecting with a leader in advance of the workshop or the keynote that you are giving. This can be done obviously virtually, or if it's possible to meet with them in person, that is optimal. 30 to 45 minutes where you're covering things like what is it that they most hope for the experience of their audience, what are some of their goals or their hoped for outcomes. These are the conversations that you want to be having well in advance of your keynote or your workshop so that you can ensure that you are helping them meet their goals. Number two, at that meeting, that's where you cover all of the necessary details, the date, the time, the location, the room that is at the location if you're speaking at a hotel, ensuring that you understand where to park, if there's any other details that you would need to know, where to ship your materials if you're sending materials in advance. But this pre-work goes a long way in helping strengthen your relationship with that event organizer and also reduce the stress and anxiety of you showing up and not feeling fully prepared. Number three, context is everything. If you're speaking for an industry that you're not very familiar with, it's going to be really important that the event organizer or other individuals that are helping coordinate the details provide for you additional details about the organization or about the association that you're speaking at or anything related to the industry so that you can incorporate that within your keynote speech or the workshop that you are facilitating. Fourth, day of, arrive earlier than what you think is actually reasonable. At least an hour in advance. If you can be there 2 hours in advance, it feels like a long time in advance of the actual keynote or workshop, but it'll allow you to slowly, in a non-anxious way, arrive and just be able to walk through and ensure that you don't feel rushed leading up to your presentation or your speech. Fifth, it's really critical that you connect with the person who is in charge of all things technology. So this is your AV person. Get to know them, ask them how long they've been doing this just to connect with them, learn their name, even get their cell phone number if you feel like you need to have that connection with them. And then also when you connect with that AV person, ensuring that you walk through all of your slides and that you physically see the slides up on the screen. This is going to be really important that you confirm all of those details so that when you step onto the stage, you have complete confidence that your AV is working correctly. Sixth, record if possible. Even if you take a small tripod with your cell phone and you record your presentation or your speech, that feedback that you will be able to watch later is going to be really important to help you get better and better at your delivery. If there are things that are confusing when you provided that presentation, you can help correct that for the next presentation. But that recording is going to be a really important asset for you to walk away with if they are not recording the keynote or the workshop for you. Seventh, when you get up onto the stage, after you've been introduced, don't reintroduce yourself. Go right into your opening story or your opening statistic or your opening call to action, whatever it is, however you are setting up your presentation or your workshop. But don't reintroduce what has already been introduced for you. 8, hit your time goal. This is going to be one of the most important things that you can do in order to strengthen trust. If you wander and drift well over the time allocated, people are looking at their watches. They have an expectation in their mind of when your presentation is going to be over. It's going to be really critical for you to hit that time goal or even to finish a couple of minutes in advance. 9th, equip, so that people don't have the experience of what I call a sit, get, and forget presentation. It is really, really important. It's been proven that if you look at the top 50 TEDx speeches of all time, 49 of the 50 had something to do with equipping the audience member to take action on a framework, on a way of thinking, on a question, whatever the case may be, but that speaker engaged them and built trust by equipping them with something that was really practical for them to be able to utilize as soon as they walked out of that speech or out of that workshop. Number 10, always have a call to action, and if possible, connecting that call to action to a way to connect with them. So in my keynote speeches, what I'll often do is I'll have my dot card information on a QR code, and I'll say if you would like a copy of these keynote slides and some additional resources that I can provide for you, simply scan this. They scan it. It's an opportunity for me to engage with them after the fact. And then 11, and finally, always send a thank you to the event organizer, thanking them for the opportunity that you've had to be able to be a part of their experience that they are providing for their audience members. These thank you notes go a long way, and it's just the right thing to do. So hopefully these 11 tips will help you at your next workshop facilitation opportunity or your next keynote speech, as we are all doing our very best to not only bring valuable content to the audience that we are speaking to, but ultimately so that we can take the opportunity to strengthen trust with our audience as well as the event organizers. I hope that you have a great next speech, and I hope that these tips really help.